to N-Dowd, where we help you manifest your goals and uplift your souls. I am Capri, CEO of N-Dowd. Here with me is Craig Kaplan. Who are you, Craig?
Hey, what's up? I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so I really wanted to talk about like my birthday week. I decided to go to Sedona. I really wanted to focus on healing and manifesting and getting in alignment. And so someone had told me about Sedona, and I was like, oh my God, this place looks beautiful. And then I found out about the vortexes, and I was like, "Oh my god, that sounds amazing!" And then I had went to you about it, and you had been to Sedona before, but
Yeah,
you
it
had.
was interesting
Mm,
because I had never heard about the vortex and I didn't meditate back when I went like 12 years ago. I'd started a couple years after that. So I didn't know anything about the vortex and I just thought it was a beautiful place. But what a different experience it was this time.
what were you out there for?
Well, I actually took my son to the Super Bowl. It was the year that the Giants unfortunately beat the undefeated Patriots. So we had a little wager. If he made honor roll 3 straight quarters, I would take him to the Super Bowl. And he did it. So we went, and it was in Arizona. And I think the Thursday before the Super Bowl, might have been Friday, I forget. I rented
Mm,
a car and I was like, all right, let's go up to Sedona. And it was, just like a 2 hour drive and it was
right.
beautiful. But like I said, nothing like this time.
Yeah. So I really wanted Craig to do this with me because we kind of were on the same wavelength as far as like the intentions that we were setting. So when you go, you have to first set your intention of what you are hoping to achieve or what you expect to achieve. So for me, my intention was I wanted to get clarity on a lot of things, and I also wanted to be able to like release a lot of things that I've been holding on to and dealing with. Did you set an intention?
Kind of. I wasn't as clear as you, though.
Mm-hmm.
But
I
um,
had to research. It was like,
and
how to get into vortex.
did you feel that your intentions were realized and you got what you were looking for? What was
I
your
do.
experience?
Yeah, I think it definitely helped. I mean, if you're going just out there to go sightsee, definitely you're gonna get that. The view is amazing, but if you're going out there to really experience like the healing of the city, town, whatever it's called, Sedona, then I think you'll get that from it too. What were you expecting?
Well, truthfully, when you first mentioned it, I wasn't super enthused just because it seemed like there was a lot of hiking involved. I'm not a big hiker.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But I have to say, I was just kind of going with the flow, which
Mm-hmm.
for me sometimes is difficult. So for me, it was, I'm just going to go and just have fun and just see what this is about and just like kind of open myself up to whatever may come. And the shaman that I hired was just phenomenal. This Native American guy. And so I meditate every morning. And I would say 50% of the time I do a quiet one. And then maybe 30% of the time I listen to a Native American flute player named R. Carlos Nakai. And I've always envisioned myself like atop this mountain, like just meditating and listening to this music. And when we were up there at one point, because there was like four different, components to what he did. At one point, he started playing the flute, and it just like tripped me out completely because it was like the exact thing that I listened to as I was on the mountain, looking at the mountain that I normally kind of envisioned. So that was like not only breathtaking, but like just so beautiful and calming to my spirit. So that
Yeah.
that was that was amazing, and just he did a drum clearing, which I'm sure you're going to get into, and this
Yeah,
other.
so let's go in order. Okay, so like even finding what's his name, Rahelio?
Rahelio, yeah.
Yeah, so when I was doing research, because I really wanted to have a guide out there, I didn't just want us to do this on our own. And I wanted someone authentic. When you do research, there's like so many of these spirit guides, shamans, normally older white people. And for me, I'm not discrediting that they have their powers and they know what they're talking about, but I really wanted to find someone native, because I'm all about, supporting the community. And so I just happened to come across Rahelio, and Craig called him to make sure he was legit. And with your phone call with him, like what really stood out for you on the phone when you called him?
Well, he just had such a gentle spirit. And when I was asking him, trying to decide between the 2-hour tour and the 3-hour tour and when to go, and he was just asking me a couple questions, and I told him, that we meditate, and then I also told him that I listened to, Har Carlos Nakai, and he said, well, you should definitely come from 3 to 5 so you can see the sunset, and we can meditate up there. And I was like, wow, that sounds awesome. And then you had also mentioned the drum clearing and so forth. And I asked him about that, and he said, well, I could do like a private thing, and really doing it privately was just definitely the move. And he was just such, like, he was amazing. Like, I'm ready to adopt him. Like, that's
yeah, you fell in love with him. So we flew into Phoenix, stayed at my sister's, and then like drove. The drive actually on Google Map was only supposed to be, I think, an hour 45. I think you did an hour 30. I'm not gonna, tell.
speed limit at some places was like 75, so I was going like 85.
Oh yeah, but I'm going to show clips of the drive here. The drive was absolutely beautiful. Mute. So all of a sudden, like you start seeing all these nice hills, and we got out the car at one point, and really, I think like everything's red. I think was kind of confused because they said Red Mountain. I was like, everything's red. So I don't know, but it was just like really nice, the scenery. So we meet up with Rahelio, and he has us meet him in this parking lot. We get in his truck or whatever. So he like proceeds to tell us that,
Don't tell that story. That's not part of the healing program. Let's save that for the end.
Life experiences that were like very interesting. And so at first, no, we're gonna keep it 100 here. So at first I was just like, oh my God, like what have we got ourselves into? But he whipped out this book and he broke down. I mean, I wish he had some kind of PowerPoint he could email people to like reread what he said, because it was so deep when he broke down the vortex. He was like saying how the way the positions of the continent, and then the universe, and then all the way down
there's
to
there's male vortex, and then there's a female vortex, and they're all the world,
and like all the way down to our cells and our atoms. Like we're constantly spinning and are in vortex, and some kind of way he tied that to the
dream catcher.
The dream catcher. Do you remember how he tied it?
Yeah. So what he said was, and the part that I cut off that I don't know that people heard was, we get into this Chevy Suburban, and the first thing he says really is something about he's had 2 encounters with aliens.
Right.
And so at that point, I'm just like,
aliens. I think it's real.
I mean, I don't know if I believe him or I don't, but I was like, all right, what's going on? But you were kind of fascinated by that and probed deeper. And
especially
You guys
twice.
had your little alien conversation, but what he said was that in the late 50s and early 60s, scientists in Russia came up with this. They they mapped out the world based on these energy flows, and he pulled out this map that they had like all these key places. And then when he pulled out the map, and it was kind of like a star, it kind of looked like a Jewish star, truthfully. Like the whole,
Mhm.
like there was a point, it was a triangle, and then anyway, it had all the different places, and there's one like Mount Everest is one, and the Grand Canyon, and that's a female one, and then there's a couple in Arizona, including the Airport Vortex where he took us. And he then, so he showed us what it looked like on this, basically like a Venn diagram. And then he pulled out a dream catcher, which, you know, the Native Americans have made who knows when, and it looked almost identical as far as how they make the web in the dream catcher. So that was pretty fascinating.
Yeah, this is it right here. It's on his
Yeah.
website, actually. This is what he pulled out, and yeah, that's when we were like, "Oh snap! Like that's crazy."
But he had another one, I guess, that was more kind of like that one was kind of more like the Earth shape, but he had like one more triangulated that looked like the star. But anyway, um, yeah, it was great to just have him lead us, you know, through the mountains and up and
No wind at all, but calm.
Yeah. So we get to we found out later we were at the Airport Vortex because there's many different ones. So the Airport Vortex is supposed to be one of the most stronger ones. So for me, I don't know if it was the altitude or the vortex, but remember I was telling you like I was kind of feeling nauseous a little bit or kind of just like, I don't know, a little headache or something.
I thought that was from the tequila the night before.
Okay, don't do that. But maybe it was the altitude. I don't know. I just remember like my head like just kind of felt lightheaded a little bit. So
It could have been when he was tapping on your face. For
well,
like,
that comes later. So yeah, so we started walking. And mind you, you had asked because I'm not in shape like that. You're not in shape like that no more. So we wasn't trying to do too much walking.
well, he said, so I said, well, I think I want to do the 2 hour, you know, tour. I said, but I'm not really that into hiking. Not because I'm not in good shape, just because I don't really want to be hiking around the mountain. But he's like, yeah, some people think you have to go really far. He said, I'm not about that. We're not going that far. It's kind of like we're going to the spot where we need to go to. So he took us to like, you know, 4 different spots. One where, you know, he had us take off our socks and kind of like basically lay in the rock. There was like kind of like a little bit of an indentation, and just he was like, you know, close your eyes, and it was pretty cool.
Yeah. So, but getting there was really interesting because at first we were on, you see where it has the ropes and everything, but he took us off track. Definitely took us off track. And when we got to that first plateau that Craig is talking about, because we were kind of, you know, he was just like, you got to take off your shoes and all that kind of stuff. But that's when he went into the actual like starting off the healing process, right? So he stands in front of you and like he'll ask, you know, what's something that you want to work on or what's something that you want to, you know, deal with. Um, so for me, mine was like stuff about my business. And so he has you close your eyes, right? So I was not expecting. All of a sudden, I feel him hit my face. I was like, "What the fuck's going on?" But I remember, so like in this other group that I'm in with Michael Singer, people are into that. They talk about tapping, how that's a good way to like let go of anxiety and depression and issues. It's like you focus on something and then you tap in some kind of way. It like helps it go away. Really intense. There's science about it. But also, I thought about my experience in Africa and Ghana. Ethel's grandmother had did this blessing on us prayer, and like while she was praying on it, it's like she was beating the back of our heads. So I was like, okay, this is ancient shit. You know what I'm saying? This is the real deal. So I'm gonna just roll with it. And when I tell you, it was like a very emotional. It was like when he was doing it at that time, I did at first I was kind of overthinking, like, am I supposed to feel something? Is something gonna happen? But eventually I was just like, girl, just go with it. And he's saying something in his language. So we found out he is from where? Mexico, but what tribe? It was Inca
like
or something.
Aztecs or something.
Yeah. So he was saying something in the language, and like he would have you say different phrases, and you would add in like other things that you want to release or let go. And what was the thing he had to say? I accept and love myself or something.
Yeah, no matter what, and even if
Yeah. Yeah, it was very like towards the end, like I was crying. Craig was over there crying. Like it was very intense. How was it for you when he did you?
Well, I mean, after watching him hit your face for like 5 minutes and 47 seconds, I can't say that I was super looking forward to it. And I didn't really know what I was looking for, but it definitely, like watching it, because I shot that. So I'm watching that and I'm like looking at you and him and then looking at those mountains. And I was definitely like in the zone when he asked me, a couple of the questions. I felt relieved and lighter, and ever since we got down the mountain, I've been blissfully in the vortex. So
Yeah, you have. Yeah, and I would say too, like, because right after that, that's when we laid down and he did the drumming over us. And when when he was like drumming over us, I could like feel that, like, like I felt it. You know what I'm saying? Like every time he pounded, like it was like.
Yeah, that was cool.
It was really intense. And he was saying something over that too. And so for me, this is where I had my, I feel like my enlightenment happened, because I had a vision, like, because this is when we laid down our shoes off. I had a vision that me and you had like fell off the cliff. I don't know how we fell off, but we fell off the cliff, me and you. And I was like, oh shit. Because sometimes I have premonitions about shit. I was like, oh my God, am I having a premonition right now? Like, what the fuck? But then, like, all of a sudden, like, we rose up and we were like stronger. And it was like, there was like this fire around us. And we like was floating up out of the mountains. And I was like, oh shit. And so then he also did a guided meditation where he instructed us to like what we were seeing and going into the cave and all this. And we had to, we saw something. I guess everyone sees something different in the cave. So for me, I just saw, I didn't really see anything, but I felt like this sensation of like, I needed to let go and keep moving on. Like that was the sensation I was feeling. And that was another. So when you do this stuff, I have the mistake of like waiting for stuff to happen or like trying to force something to happen. It is kind of like I'm sitting there thinking, okay, when he's talking about going through the cave, I'm like trying to find. He's like, search for it. I'm like searching, and I'm trying to conjure something up. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, I can't be conjuring. Then it ain't gonna be real. It's very confusing. But now looking back on it, I realized like I just kept having the sensation of like moving forward and letting go, which led into another vision I had the next day, which signified that totally. It was random as hell, which we'll talk about another time. But what was going through your mind? Like, what did you see or experience?
Well, the thing about falling off the cliff was interesting, just because a lot of people talk about, kind of like dying into yourself, and so that could have been like, your past life that you were trying to let go, gone, and then kind of like the phoenix rising up from the fire. But I mean, for me, when we went to the last place and the sun was setting and he played the flute, like, and I was just kind of like so deep in the thought of like, this is what I experience. So I've been meditating for like 11 years now. So, at least 1,000 times I've seen that in my head, in my mind's eye type of thing. But even though when I went to Sedona before, like, I don't have like a recollection. I just remember it was cool. But when we were sitting there, like, I saw the mountain that I see every time that I'm listening to that music. And then I was listening to the guy play. And then when he stopped, I actually played, one of the tracks, and then we all just listened. It was like one of the most calming things that I've ever experienced.
So I will say, when that was happening, because he had his meditate then too, I did also have like a vision of like I was deconstructed, but I was like coming back together piece by piece, and it was like these steel plates or something. I don't know what the fuck was going on. But I remember I did think that, and that was during the flute time. It was crazy, like when we were doing the other vision, we remember like all of a sudden this strong breeze like came across us.
Yeah, that was like, it was like a cleansing breath almost from the mountain. Just,
yeah, it was
but,
really
but I think that those steel plates that you're talking about,
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. What were you saying?
The steel plates that you were kind of, when you were being reconfigured, it was like you were the $6 million woman and you were being constructed. So you were.
Mind no wind at all. Yeah. So let me show you these trees. Do you remember how he explained the trees? That's why I wish there was like some kind of thing we could walk away with, because there was so much information.
Some trees are spinning counterclockwise, other ones are spinning clockwise, and
yeah, I don't know. Can you see the tree? I don't know how to make this bigger.
Down at the bottom, you see the 2 arrow thing. Yeah, click that.
Oh, okay. So yeah, there's random trees that would be like all twisted, and he was saying that that's from the what was he saying?
Well, so you could see the one just shaking a little bit, but so the breeze can come from north, south, east, or west, but it sometimes one tree in one area right next to it will be spinning clockwise and the other one will be spinning counterclockwise, just due to there's such a strong energy level there, which I don't exactly understand. But
and he said he showed us the lightning, like the lightning bolts are massive, big, thick, really, like the lightning that happens there is intense. So yeah, that, and then he showed us like the crack. Remember that crack?
Where the water comes down, and he had he had a whole thing about like it was like a womb, and kind of got pornographic up there for a couple of
Yeah, you weren't laying it. But yeah, I mean, and so one thing I would say my takeaway from it that kind of saddened me was there is like no diversity in Sedona. When I looked up the statistics, it's like 95% white and maybe like 10% Mexican. So I only saw like the 3 Black people when I was there. So I really want to get more people exposed, and because right now everyone's going everywhere else, and I don't think they're really going to Sedona like that or even know about Sedona like that. And I think it's really important to like get more exposure to Sedona. I will say to get a place to stay out there, if you want to stay in a nice place, it is pricey. Maybe that's why we're not out there like that. But it's worth it. Even if you just stay for one night, or if you don't really, you can stay out there one night and get a full experience. You don't have to be out there. We were there for 2 nights. We don't have to be out there for 2 nights. We didn't even do anything the second day. We could have. But yeah. So I really want to stress like for people to go here. I put Rahelio's website in the comments. I'll put it in the statuses too. He's absolutely amazing. Very patient. His vibe is like beautiful. So we've been pushing him like hard.
Yeah, the next morning at the vegan place, this guy kind of like walked up to me, and he invited us to this party where he was spinning records like that weekend. And I was like, well, we're not going to be here. But and then he was like, oh, what are you doing? I said, oh, we had this great, tour of the Vortex. And he was like, not with Rahelio, wasn't it? I'm like, it sure was. And like, so it's like, he's known. He's the man.
No, he is the man. He's amazing. And I would say, since we've been there, I have noticed a change within myself, like how I relate to issues, how I've dealt with issues. Because right now I'm going through a lot of stuff with my business, and I don't have as much anxiety about it as I would have before. I'm kind of like, it's gonna work out. I just gotta figure it out, but it's
Now
gonna.
you just need the sweat lodge, and you'll be like,
Yeah. Right. So he has a sweat lodge. I'm trying to go to that. I'm definitely trying to go to the sweat lodge and do some cleansing. I feel that this is somewhere I'm going to be coming at least once a year. You feeling like that?
I mean, it was great. And then coupled with the float tank experience, like to cap it off, which I was also kind of, not super looking forward to, but at the end of the day, it was just super chill. And that salt room was just.
Okay, that's another video. We're not doing that. That's a whole other video. That's a whole other topic.
Okay, I thought it was about
birthday
week.
But leaving Sedona, leaving Rahelio's cleansing session, how do you feel? What do you think?
I keep telling people I'm so chill I can't drive because I might fall asleep. But,
yeah.
I've experienced a couple people that I normally deal with that it's just, it's like night and day. Whereas before, it would kind of be like, if I'm comparing things to like a spirit animal type of scenario where they'd be like, kind of ready to pounce, like everything's just like, it's a completely different vibe. So
yeah. I know for me, like a specific instance, like I had an issue with a close friend, and I already kind of felt like I needed to let it go, but like that really pushed me to like, all right, let it go. And then you also helped me let it because I could get not to let it go, but I ended up letting it go faster. Oh yeah, Ethel is here. Yeah, so Ethel's grandma was the one that prayed over me and Michael, and I was just like, she was like beating him. It was like, what's going on? But she's such a beautiful person. She's no longer here with us, but I just remember her. I was thinking about her actually as he was doing that, so it just really brought everything together for me.
And one of the things that he has you say, like, some words, some positive manifestations that even when you're down on yourself, as we all get down on ourselves, or we have doubt, or we do something that we know maybe we shouldn't have done, it was like, find your acceptance, even basically like when you're fucking up, where you have made a mistake, just like, so nobody's perfect, and of course, shit's gonna happen, so just embrace that, and apologize if need be, but don't hang on to it, don't beat yourself up about it. And it's just, yeah, like, if I can keep hold of this feeling now, like, on an ongoing basis, it would be truly transformational.
Yeah, I mean, right after he told, my instruction was I had to write out affirmations. So it was pretty fitting because we had an affirmation wheel or a manifestation wheel, the
focus wheel
that we worked on and put affirmations on, like, right after. So yeah, I mean, I would totally agree. It's not like, for me, there's still issues, but the issues have, like, they're vibrating lower than ever. And I've been telling people, I kind of been feeling like there's another ceiling, like I've been trying to get through, and this really pushed me through. So very glad we did it.
Great choice. And finding
It was a great birthday present. Thank you very much. So yeah, we're gonna do another video about the float take experience, because I really like how to show the different ways that we experience these things, because a lot of times with this stuff, people like to talk about their experiences, and then people go and feel like they should have the same experience. That's not how it's supposed to be. You're gonna have your own individual experience. You just have to be open to trying. That's all I ask, for people to be open.
And you should probably have the drum circle dance in that one.
Okay. We'll see. But yeah, any last words? You good?
Good.
Wrap it up. All right. Thank you everyone for watching. If you are a new watcher, you haven't subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button, that notification button, and make sure to follow me on N-Dowd.
Oh, don't you have some new travel mug that people can get or something?
I mean, I don't have, like, you put me on the spot, like.
Just tell them about your travel mug. Go to.
Oh, okay, because I don't have, like, the picture right now.
The holiday gift.
Holiday gift. Go to N-Dowd.com. It's a new design. Actually, I have it right here. Maybe I'll play it right quick. Yeah.
I don't think they got that website. Where do they buy it from?
N-Dowd.com. N-Dowd.com. It's where it's at. And this is the new design. Super lit. I'm completely whole within myself. I felt like that was a very completely worthy and whole within myself. I felt like that was a very good mantra, affirmation to put on some products for you guys. We have the travel mug, regular mug. Might have it on some apparel. We'll see. We're not liking how it looks so far. But we might work it out. But yeah, thanks everyone for watching. Bye.